All right, guys. There's someone waving in the background. Get out of my picture.
Cool.
The lady right behind, over my shoulder. All right, guys. We are not in our normal spot this week.
No.
We are at Josh's wedding, so congratulations, Josh. Woo! Woo!
Right over here.
Woo! And we're going to talk about the 18.4 workout standards. We both did it. Josh did it as well. We'll give you our inputs. But basically, in short, 18.4 is Diane, a very famous benchmark workout.
One of the originals.
One of the originals. It involves with handstand push-ups and deadlifting, a lot of hamstring stuff. It's a 21-15-9 of deadlifts at 225 for the guys, 155. And handstand push-ups with a new type of standard, which we personally think it's a lot more difficult than the other years. And then it goes on to another section of a 21-15-9 of heavier deadlifts and a handstand walk, which is something new to the open.
Right.
Paul, why don't you talk about a little bit of strategy-wise, if you're doing this RX, how would you break it up, how you performed in your workout, and then we'll talk about the handstand push-ups and the standards.
Okay. So for me,
I'm in my beer. Sorry, guys.
I made it to 21 deadlifts on the 21 round of 315, obviously. The standard for the handstand push-up is the thing that limited me the most. The deadlifts, 225 deadlifts for me is not heavy. 315 deadlift is heavy. But the handstand push-up standard is, like I said, what really slowed me down. It's a different standard. It's a new standard. I still haven't really had a lot of time to kind of wrap my head around the standard, if it's more difficult, less difficult. But for me personally, I think it was a harder standard than last year and the past few years. I think you would agree, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So what I did was I broke early and often. I can do Diane unbroken easily. I've done it before, but I broke up the deadlifts in the round of 21 into 7s and then 5s, and then I did a 5-4 on the 9s. And the handstand push-ups, I did 7s, 5s. I got a few no reps because of the standard, and then I was just kind of, clawing at different rep schemes, 3s, 2s. I think I did a couple singles.
Yeah.
In there. So if you're doing this workout RX, I would say break earlier and more often than you think you should. I think on this one, everyone is going to pretty much overestimate what they're capable of, and you should take a step back from that. Break more often, even if it's only a few seconds. Kick down off the wall, kick right back up. You don't really lose much. Same thing with the deadlifts. Drop it, pick it back up.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. What I would say on it is that if anyone was watching the open live event, Panchik broke really early. I think he did a set of 4.
He did 7s. He did 7s.
No, he did less than that
on the deadlifts.
No, I think he did less. He did like 4s and 3s at certain points, but quick.
At certain points.
I personally, how I did the workout, I did it like that. I think I opened up with a set of 4, 4, 4. Then I went down into the 3s. I think the workout is basically, in short, I think the workout revolves around the handstand push-up standard. That's what I think personally.
Yeah.
Whether you're good at handstand push-ups or not, like, you cannot make a mistake at the handstand push-ups. You can't afford getting no rep more than 5 times.
And also, you can't get frustrated with it too, because once you get a few no reps, it gets in your head. You get frustrated. You yell at your judge, and then you're just in a negative space.
Right.
You just have to kind of keep moving forward.
Right. I was lucky enough for me to only get 1 no rep, which I was really happy. And I mean, Paul, you had like at least 4 no reps to 5. 4 or 5. Josh, how many did you have?
30.
30.
He had like
Oh
30
God.
No
Yeah.
issues with strength, all issues with standard.
Yeah, my opinion is that go slower on the deadlifts so that your heart rate is not jacked up there, so that you can perform the handstand push-up to the max effort. Because as you get tired, you start to collapse. You start to have this huge curve in your back when you're doing the handstand push-ups, and the range of motion becomes shorter, and you're not capable of kicking up there.
Right.
So that I would do that.
And remember, your tie break is the time you finish your last set of deadlifts. So if you make it to the round of, let's just say, 9 deadlifts with a minute left, you got to just cruise through those. Try to go unbroken, get a little bit better tie break time, and then just kind of see what you can scrape up after that.
Yeah, for me, for the handstand push-ups also, what I would say is that, I mean, I can't go unbroken, but I can definitely do Diane in handstand push-ups 777, then like 654, and then 54. And when I did the first 5, opening up on the set of 21, like just making sure your heels start. We'll talk about the standard, but the heels have to start above the line or the target. Then your head has to hitch, and you have to lock out. And you have to make sure your judge shows that both heels are above the line. It just takes a lot of energy out of you just holding locked out. You got to push actively away down so you can get those heels above.
Yeah. I would say it's probably double the effort for one handstand push-up rep in this workout, in an open workout with a standard like this, compared to your normal handstand push-up workout in a class where no one's watching you, no one's counting your reps, no one's making sure your feet are over the line, stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I don't know what's your Diane time. If you can just go right to the wall and go unbroken, what's like your best Diane time? If you
Probably
can recall,
like between 3 and 4 minutes.
Yeah, and then he finished his workout around what?
Diane was 6:41.
6:41 with the new standard. So yeah, maybe you would like to repeat this and do this over again with getting a few no reps here and there. But like, even if you were at if you attacked that workout at your best potential, like it would still be around 5 minutes, I would say, right?
Maybe more. And this one, maybe 6.
Yeah. So what we would say is, like, if you're doing an RX, attack the workout, but make sure that your handstand push-ups are good repetitions. Don't get any no reps. Also, don't go to failure unless you're towards the end of the workout and you really need to. I noticed, and you can say because you were my judge, when I was towards the end of the workout, for my heels getting above and over that line was getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
Centimeters.
Centimeters. Like it was real. I was like locked out for 3-4 seconds, and you're like, no, no, no. Oh, you pull down your heels. Great, good rep.
Yep.
So it was kind of difficult. I did like this workout, even though deadlifts are not up my alley. 315 for me is 104% of my 1 rep max, so I couldn't even get up to there. But I was happy with the workout. I broke up the deadlifts very early from the beginning and the handstand push-ups. Anything on that, the pacing strategy-wise other than that? I mean, scaling, it's a little bit lighter, and you got hand-release push-ups. I don't know how you would break those up, but...
So those, for a scaled athlete, the hand-release push-ups is pretty much the same strategy as the handstand push-ups for RX. Once they go, they're gone.
Yeah.
So you need to be very careful with how you break those up. And I told Shimmy before he went, and I told Josh before he went, because I did the workout before them, is that as soon as you start to feel your shoulders or your triceps going and you're going through a set, break right then, even if it's not your plan.
Yeah.
Because once it starts kicking in, there's no way to really get rid of it.
Correct, yeah. Other than that, standards, just so if you don't know, all athletes, and we've talked about this week in and week out, all athletes should know what the rules and standards are. It's your obligation as an athlete to find out what the rules are, and it's also up to the judge to find out what the rules are. So if you don't know what it is, just make sure that you are reviewing the standards. Hopefully Rich tonight will talk about it in front of Friday Night Lights. Maybe I'll put a 2-minute clip together to talk to you guys about it. But if you're doing an RX, how would you measure is that if you're using a mat, you must stand on that mat. Or if you're using plates with a ab mat, the requirements are a 25-pound plate on each side with an ab mat. You have to stand on those plates. Heels must be against the wall. Hips or butt against the wall, shoulder and head against the wall. You're going to measure the top of the head. Once that's established, you'll step off the wall. You'll make that mark. From there, you will measure from, let's see if you can see it here. Yeah, well, let's do this. From your knuckles, the middle knuckle, all the way down to your elbow. So let's just say this is 15 inches. Then you will divide it by 2, which is 7.5. So it'll be 7.5 inches above the head. Then from there, you can go as wide or as narrow as you want. Of course, the narrower you go, the easier it is, but the harder it is. And then the only other thing is that you have to get your heels over the line. So we would highly recommend is that try to keep your feet as close to possible, 2 feet together. And also pull down your heels towards your knees or your hips. And not point your toes away from you, point your toes towards you so you can get those heels up.
A good idea for people who are doing this RX, for the handstand push-ups is to chalk your hands and put your hands
good. That's a
right
good one.
on the mats where you know your hands are going to be for the whole workout. So then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about that as you're going through the workout, because the farther your hands get away from the wall, the more angle your body is against the wall, and so your feet are going to be lower, so it's going to be harder to meet that standard. You got to stay a little bit closer to the wall, try to keep a little bit more narrow grip than normal, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, play around with it. I know this is an open that you're doing, and then there's just this new standard of handstand push-ups, and you guys have never done it before. But make sure that your repetitions are good, and make sure as a judge that you feel comfortable holding your athlete to your standard. Like, make sure if one heel is like a centimeter off from not hitting that line, you have to no rep them. You got to hold people accountable. Other than that, if you are doing the scaled option, you cannot snake your push-up. So you cannot burpee your way down and have your hips touch the ground. It has to be your chest and thighs touching the ground, and you have to push up from that position after your hands come off the ground. Bear crawl, it's just really simple. Your hands have to start behind the line as you're passing it. And for the handstand walk, I would say it's the same exact thing. It's just now your feet are in the air. For every 5 feet is considered 1 rep.
Same thing for the bear crawl. 5 feet is 1 rep.
Yeah, 5 feet is 1 rep. None of our athletes yet for RX has gotten up to the handstand walk. Hopefully we have someone. I'm dying for someone to get up to it.
I strongly doubt that anyone from Outbreak will get to the handstand walk, but prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong, guys. Other than that, good luck at Friday Night Lights. Wish we can be there. Richard did a great job setting that up. So have an awesome time, and then we'll see you next week, guys.
See you next week, live from Miami.